Hey there, this is my third day in Hoi An, and the plan for today is to visit a famous historical site which is about 30 kilometers from here. I will take a bus to get there. It is supposed to pick me up at the hotel at noon, so let's see if that works out. By the way, what you see here is absolutely not really typical for the tourist part of Hoi An. This is just a living area on one of the islands, the island where my hotel is also located. And yeah, until that bus will pick me up, I'm just walking around to see some places here which are not so touristy. The actual video where I am going to show the city, the historical town of Hoi An, is what I'm planning to film tomorrow. The place I'm going to visit is named Mi Son. Hope to get the pronunciation halfway correct. At least I'm almost sure that I get it better than some English-speaking people here who pronounce it as my son. It is one of the, maybe the best known or most important temple site of the Cham people, and it is partly over 1,500 years old, and it has been inhabited for over 1,000 years.
Because one is not enough for all of us. Yeah, the shuttle bus will help you to skip 2 kilometers walking. Yes, we will be here. Yeah. Yeah. The water here is from the top of the holy mountain, Submission Holy Land. Yeah. On the way you will see the holy mountain of this valley. I will show you later.
Ora perché qua sono tutti pazzi. Sì, qua sono pazzi. E io non ho voglia di farmi male. Sì, no, meno male.
So I just learned that this is the holy mountain. So let me take a selfie with the holy mountain.
here how the Cham people stick the red fish together without any mortar. Yeah, and you can see they are also the original red fish, but they were from inside the thick wall of the other buildings. And you can see when they move outside, 40 years moving outside, but they are darker. Right? Yeah. This one is the upper part. Yeah, the upper part named Linga. You can say Linga or Lingam. Yeah, we Vietnamese say Linga. Linga stands for the male power of Shiva. And this one is the Yoni. Yeah, Yoni stands for female power of Shiva. So Shiva has two genders, the male and female genders. And he can create the world by his two genders. Yeah.
First part of the guided tour is finished, and I have some time, about an hour, to walk around and explore myself. So the tour guide is quite good, so I've learned a lot about this Cham culture, who built this site from the starting at the 2nd century, and I think they left the place more than 1000 years later. So the Cham were a Hindu culture. So maybe you have already seen some of the sculptures were typical Hindu sculptures. There was a sculpture of Shiva, for example, and yeah, unfortunately many of these temples have been destroyed in the war in the 1960s, and what you can see here is actually not original. It has been rebuilt in the 2000s. So this restoration you can see here has been finished about 2 years ago. So all of this has been completely destroyed and rebuilt. Yeah, you can see that it's completely new, and you can also see that you have these seams between the bricks, and in the original Cham buildings you actually don't see any seams, so they had a much better technique in bringing these bricks together without using any mortar. You also need to know that most of the artifacts are no longer here. They have been moved to a museum in Da Nang. What you can see here is just the buildings, or actually for the most part not the original buildings but the restorations. Still quite impressive. Here we have another one of these typical Hindu lingam statues. Is it called a statue? I don't know. to be one of the few places where you can see some original ornaments. At least I think they are partly original.
Yeah.
Ashtray. Here's one that currently seems to be restored, or maybe even not. Maybe they just keep it in its current state after having been bombed. So actually I still don't know why the Americans have been bombing this site, because it's a temple area. There were actually no people living here. Maybe they feared that some Viet Cong were hiding in these places. That's the most probably reason. But I will try to ask our tour guide later if she knows anything about that.
You love Vietnam, right? You want Vietnamese people? Here.
Back at the main site, which is the only one which is at least partially original. And if I remember correctly, this is a meditation hall. And here you can see what I think are some of the bomb shells dropped by the Americans who demolished this place. Place is much less crowded right now, and I think that's because there is a Cham music performance or something like that, which is supposed to start in a few minutes. So look here.
The surface is here with no marks.
Trying to get into the main sanctuary here, which is actually quite small, and that's because it was not for everyone, only to be used by privileged people. Not sure if you can see a lot. There are no windows. It's all closed.
Okay, team, wait. Let me keep on here. Alright, where I need
I'm in one of the side temples now, and I would say that this is a good place where you can see how tiny, almost invisible, the gaps between these stones are. And this is something that can really almost not be restored. And I think it's still unknown how the people have been doing this. Statue of an elephant here. And I think this performance is just starting. Wondering if I should go there or better stay here and walk around without too many tourists. Again, these seems to be the original stones with tiny gaps, and this is the restored stuff. This as well. And this once again seems to be original. Another detail of the main sanctuary. And let me correct something I said in the beginning before I came here. I said this place was inhabited for 1000 years, which is not really the case, because it was never inhabited. It was just a spiritual place, not inhabited by people. So it has been used for more than 1000 years, but it has never been inhabited. And I think I didn't tell you where these Cham people came from. It's actually quite difficult to understand. They came from, I think, Indonesia, Malaysia, and yeah, they were Hindu. And actually, Hoi An, the place where I am staying, has been the main capital. So in Hoi An, this has actually been the place where most of the Cham people lived. So it was already inhabited at that time. Also, most of the buildings you can see in the old town of Hoi An are from the 17th, 18th century. So, let's finish up this video here. Hoi An. Is it worth it? Well, depends. So, this is definitely a place of great historical significance. It has a beautiful landscape surrounding it. But unfortunately, a lot of it, or actually almost all of it, has been destroyed in the, say here, the American War in the 1960s. So don't expect any really spectacular things here. But if you stay a few days in Hoi An, it is certainly worth a half day. So you can go here either in the morning or in the afternoon, which I did, and take a bus. The bus will pick you up at the hotel and bring you back to the hotel if you want to. And it's definitely a nice tour. But as I said, don't expect any spectacular buildings here. So finally asked the tour guide why the Americans were bombing this place, and it was actually, as could be expected, there were actually some Viet Cong from the north hiding in these ruins, and that's why they demolished the whole place, as could be expected. Okay, so finally I would say that's it for today. Tomorrow I am going to record the video about Hoi An, the old town, and I think this is going to be interesting. Let's have another look at the holy mountain, which is currently covered in clouds, which actually looks quite impressive. Okay, so now finally that's it for today. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.